And we are live.
Sound Minds. Yes, sir. Sunday, June 13th. We out here. You know what I'm saying? We got another fabulous, phenomenal show for you. Another episode, man, which touches a whole different realm of episodes that we have ever had, man. So it just goes to show, man, Sound Minds are so diverse in so many different ways, man. And for the most part, man, when I tell you that when we bring y'all the dopest of guests, trust and rest assured, put that to the bank, man. I'm telling you right now, this episode is no different. You know what I mean? So what we doing though, we going into like the comedy world. I think it's a realm in which many people don't necessarily touch upon. A lot of people don't really know many comics, and then when you do, you don't even know how they got there and backstories and what they do to stay and maintain and sustain who they are, and you know, and their regular 9 to 5s, how they keep their mortgages going, all that, man. So today we have two dope guests who will be the first to tell y'all, if y'all don't know what that life look like, exactly what that is, man. So we got Kareem Blue, dope comedian, you know what I'm saying? And we gonna get into everything else he does, man. But he also owns his own boxing gym, Blue Boy Boxing. He is a boxing promoter, boxing announcer. Every so often on the weekends, he puts the cape on and he's out there saving children, and you know what I mean? Like, he does it all, you know what I'm saying? And then we got Justin Ramos, who is actor, behind the scenes extraordinaire, comedian, been on his, you know, he's already building a resume for himself, but he's also still building on it so that when you do see this name anywhere else in any movies or shows like that, you'll understand this is where you probably got introduced. And if not, then you should be sharing that word and letting everybody know where Justin is from. So this is Justin Ramos. So we're going to get into these phenomenal lives, man, and we're going to let them introduce themselves, man. But I just wanted to salute y'all. You know what I mean? Sound Minds is here, as we all are, you know, at all times. This is now the 7th episode of the 5th season. The next 3 are just going to be as dope, man. But stay tuned to this. So if you got the time, go share this out. Tell your peoples about it. Tell them that we got 2 dope guests that you want to hear their lives and their stories, man. And you might hear some jokes.
Follow and subscribe. Follow and subscribe. And it don't hurt to hit the like button.
At all. I tried a couple of times.
Hit it real hard. Like if you karate chop it at an angle.
I've never gotten hurt from hitting like buttons. It just shows support. It's the craziest thing. It shows support. But yo, so with that being said,
hey, we gonna tell them to smack the like button. Everybody be like, yo, smash the like button, pound the like button, smack the like.
I gotta say one thing. Love you. Happy birthday to my baby girl. I can't believe you 17 tomorrow.
Hey.
It's your birthday eve. It's only right that I salute you. I'm proud to be a father. Love you to my kids.
There you go, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. You made this a little awkward because I thought you were telling me you love me on camera, and it just felt weird.
Of course I love you, my brother. Of course I love you.
He was looking right at you, like making eye contact.
We connected. The souls connected, brother.
Yo,
with that being said,
hey, he brought that energy in here, man. I don't know what's going on.
With that being said, we're gonna let these 2 brothers explain who they are, man, and tell their stories, man. So go ahead, y'all. The floor is yours.
Go ahead, Judge. You want to go first, Judge?
Yeah, sure. No doubt.
Go ahead, my brother.
I'm Justin Ramos. I'm from East New York, Brooklyn. I've been doing stand-up for going on 11 years now. My hat is bothering me, so I'm going to just take it off. I still got my hair. Yeah, so I've been doing comedy. The first stage I've ever touched was Caroline's on Broadway. I took a class, which I didn't need. I realized that it was a gimmick after. And I sat and actually wrote in college for 4 years before I touched the stage in 2010. And I've been everywhere on the East Coast, like from Boston and Slades all the way down to the Tampa Improv in Florida. I'm a regular at some clubs out here. I'm a regular at Caroline's. Well, Ha doesn't exist anymore, so I guess I'm a regular at Yonkers. But also Broadway Comedy Club in Greenwich, which I produce shows there to this day. I've been producing for them for almost 10 years now. So I'm the co-creator of Better Not Bring Your Kids and Get Your Weight Up comedy show. And now I also have my own new shows called the Brooklyn Coalition, which I host there at Broadway Comedy Club. But yeah, I've been in radio actually longer than I've done stand-up comedy. That was my major in college. So I've worked for Cumulus Media, which used to house WPLJ 95.5, Radio 103.9, which I actually wrote for La Loca in the city. I was an intern for her. I worked with her because I worked in the promotions department. I'm just now getting into acting. I'll be on season 4 of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon. I have an independent movie out now that my good friend Elijah Bullock wrote. It's called A Night Out. And this week I'll be in Atlanta doing the 1865 Comedy Festival in honor of Juneteenth. So I'm a proud Afro-Latino. I'm the only Puerto Rican on there, but when they understand my beige side, they're going to know that I celebrate Kwanzaa because my mom's raised me, all right? I'm fluent in collard greens better than I am in platanos. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. Awkward.
See, my whole shit is different. It's backwards. I grew up in the Lower East Side, so I be eating canepas and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my doodles and all that. Yeah, man. Like, listen. So I've been doing comedy for about 10 years. This is my 10th year, actually. You know what I mean? This year. So it's like I've been doing comedy for 10 years, man. I started out just like I went to one show. A dude hit me up because I did some video on YouTube. So my man, he raps or whatever. He was like, yo, I want you to be this like asshole cop in the video. All right, so I was like, I got you. You know what I mean? So I did like a little funny skit in the video. Then one of my peoples had seen it. And he was like, yo, I know you did comedy. I was like, nah, I don't do comedy. I just did some funny shit for the video. And he was like, yo, I got a show that I'm throwing in 2 weeks. If you want to get on there and see what you got. I was like, fuck it, why not? I always wanted to try it. So like I went over there. He meet me in the parking lot. And he was like, yo, he was like, listen, the manager don't want to do the show. So I was like, all right, fuck, I'll see you later. So he was like, nah, we doing the show tonight. He don't want to do no more because the last comics I had the last 2 weeks wasn't funny and the crowd wasn't happy. So he was like, I'm gonna need you to be funny tonight. I was like, bro, this is my first show. I don't know what you mean. Like I don't even know what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? So I did my thing. Like the owner was happy. He was laughing, whatever. I was hyped. I was on my way to the car. He stopped me in the parking lot, gave me $50. Like, yo, here. So I called Duke to the parking lot, like, yo, I gave him 25. Like, yo, he was like, what's this? I was like, yo, the manager just gave it to me. So then he just started booking me gigs, and then I started like doing shows. So then I did a competition. It was the funniest comic in a New England competition. So I came in 5th overall. Wow. And I'd only been doing this shit for a few months. Everybody else was like 5 years in. So like, you know what I mean? So like when I started making connections like that, started doing my own shows and shit. You know what I mean? They ain't looked back since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about pressure though. Like
right.
I'm talking about, he said, yo, they don't want to do the show, but we gonna do this show. You just gotta be funny.
And I was like, I don't even know. I never even told nobody these jokes. I don't even know. You know, it's different because some people think you could just be the funny dude at the cookout, like on the block, and to be snapping and just get up there. It don't work like that. That shit don't work that way. You gotta have structured
material. Did you realize that your first time when you went up there? When did you realize that moment?
Well, I realized I didn't want to just get up there freestyling. So I had some structured material. My shit was like too structured. Like I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, I was stepping over my own jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like the joke would hit and then I'd be so hyped. I'm like, let me get my next one off. And then I'm like, nah, let me, you know what I mean? And then I started meeting like other comedians that was more seasoned. They was like, yo, if you just slow it down, bro, you would have some fire. Like, you know what I mean? You going too fast. You know what I mean? You stepping over the laughs and shit, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
about? Which is
funny. I know what you mean.
I got a quick question for y'all, being that one of the questions I did have, man, because, you know, most people, man, if you have a doctor in the room or if you have a lawyer, dudes are like, yo, I stubbed my toe on the bed. Can I sue them? You know what I mean? So you automatically become your career without even wanting to. Do y'all brothers ever feel like that pressure, or do you feel like everybody always expects you to be funny, even if somebody is dying because they choking on something? Yo, say something funny. Like, do you get that? Or is that something that you don't really have to deal with on a regular basis?
What's
Yeah, go ahead, Kareem. Answer.
Yeah, now like some people, you know what I mean, it's always the case like, oh, you a comedian, they'll tell me a joke real quick, you know what I mean? It's always, but I tell them I box, they never want that jab though, you know what I'm saying? I be like, what I be like, which one is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna get either one of these. You're gonna get both of the things I do if you want one. You gotta get both. 2 for 1. You know what I'm saying? So I just be like, yeah, come to the show. Come to the show. I get paid to do this.
Yeah,
that would be the answer. That's definitely the answer. That I would say you got to be like, man, come to the show. You want to see me do it?
But it's different too, cause like George, you I remember back in the day, you used to rap too. You used to spit bars. You too, Kai. So like that was different. Somebody want to hear some bars. Yo, you start spitting right away. You don't care what it was. It's like with comedy, it's a little different. I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Nah, I mean, not to make it a whole other show, but we gotta mention Black on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and even back then, he was one of the first to tell us like, my freestyle ain't free. You know what I'm saying? He say things like that, only to find out years later that one of my mentors, KRS, had said this like years and years before, that one of the reasons hip hop even became sustainable, you can't do it yourself though, but was because we will always have a man on the side of us that would be like, yo, you want to hear my man? Come to the show, buy the tape, that type of thing.
Right.
I feel like you never lose the drive to want to be it, but if you don't have people that are vouching for you, that are telling you like, don't use all of your stuff now, like save it for the show, then none of this would be sustainable.
Right.
So being that you mentioned that you structured, and you had something written, we got a great question in the chat. Shout out to Dad Is Not a Noun. He says, who are some of your comedian influence?
Go ahead, Judge, you get that.
Real quick to answer the last question that you guys asked.
Yes, sir.
Mine is in reverse. My family, now that I do stand-ups, they're like, oh, you're always trying to be funny. No, I just have been the same way my whole life. Like I have cousins that when I'm the youngest on my dad's side and I'm one of the oldest on my mother's side. But on my father's side, they knew that I was good at, impressions and voices. So they always be like, oh, do Urkel, do Weekend at Bernie's, do Fire Marshal Phil, from In Living Color, which is Jim Carrey, right? Which goes straight into the next one.
Fire Marshal Phil!
Right.
Hey!
So since we're asking about inspirations, I could go on all day, like Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney, who just passed away, R.I.P. Paul Mooney, Eddie Murphy, Eddie Griffin, Martin Lawrence, Dave Chappelle, of course, which my show Better Not Bring Your Kids is in honor of him, because if you remember the chorus and it goes, Chappelle show, better not bring your kids. Yeah, so yeah. Basically, I could go on and on. Joan Rivers, even Ellen, Wanda Sykes, the list goes on and on. So Ralphie May, Robin Williams, if I didn't say that. So I can keep going.
I have to ask, what did you get from Ellen? Like, what's a brother from East New York? What did you get from Ellen? You gotta let us know for the podcast.
Ellen
the
is
Blazers.
Like Ellen is like the female Jerry Seinfeld, meaning everyday life. That's what they talk about. They hit every point of a joke too, which is kind of annoying. It's good to watch stand up because you can learn what is the current style, right, of comedy by watching who's new, who's done it before you, who's doing it now, who's coming behind you. Just watch stand up. With Ellen talks about everyday stuff. There's a special that she has. It was an HBO special. I don't remember the name of it right now, but there's a joke she's talking about how people act in a movie theater. And it's like everything you could think of that a person does in the movie theater, she talks about on stage. How people eat popcorn. Yeah. How people eat popcorn in certain scenes and like the popcorn's going away. It's right in front of you. It's just like everyday normal stuff. Seinfeld does the same thing. So it's kind of...
Which is crazy because they ain't been normal in like 3 decades.
Right. Like Seinfeld... Jerry Seinfeld just started cursing after doing comedy for over 40 years. He's never cursed.
That's crazy.
His last special.
Wow.
Crazy.
Is
My-
that
my-
is that
me
something you have to go ahead?
Oh, not to me personally. I always like the, like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, and always like D.L. Hughley.
I love
Always
DL.
like
I used to work with DL.
Oh, word! I always like. So I always
yeah.
like to be sharp on stage because of DL. Like the way he come through, like look sharp and shit. I always like to be sharp on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to get his water and his Lunchables and test the mics before he went on air.
Lunchables.
I swear, I'm serious. 3 bottles of water, and if he got hungry, we had a couple packs of Lunchables right at his microphone.
That was on the rider, the
Damn,
Lunchables
dudes, for real.
Lunchables
on the rider.
Well, we had snacks in the program director's fridge. So
okay,
yeah, that was one of the snacks.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yo, that I was gonna make me ask, like, do you have to get to that level, that super comedian, like whatever, Seinfeld, Ellen level, in order to be able to talk about everyday stuff? It's almost like how Beyonce did Lemonade. Right. And I'll be telling, like, when we mentoring younger artists, I'll be telling sisters, don't make an album like that. You're not Beyonce. Like, wait till you get to that level before you make an album showing all your flaws. You know what I mean? But then again, I've seen some of y'all stuff, and I feel like you have been talking about every day. Like, Reem, I remember you was talking about I don't remember what the context, if it was like being a husband or a boyfriend, but I never forgot it because you was talking about, like, when your lady be wilding out, and like you was talking to ladies and you was like, yo, it's easy to just calm us down, you know what I'm saying? And I was dying because it was just like something you can relate to, but nobody talks about. You feel me? So, like, what is the level between, like, super famous people being able to talk regular, and as when you first coming up, do you have to, like, say something crazy, or do you feel like you could always just relate to people and somebody's gonna pay attention?
Well, like me personally, I do a lot of crowd work. So, like, I can, like, so, like, if it's like a current event type of thing, you know what I'm saying? Like I might do a current event, just like when you rapping, you might do a current event bar, and then like 3 months down the road it's old now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, all right, I got to move on to the next thing. Like, if I do a Kwame Brown joint, it's popping right now. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, 6 months later, shit might not be in no more. You know what I mean? And then it's like, it's old already, Then I got to revamp it or try to be like, oh, remember Kwame Brown? Like, you know what I mean? I got to bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's always like something like that where, like with these celebrities, when they had that platform, they could talk about current events consistently. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to always, like, revamp and try to rehash it. You know what I mean?
I
don't know if Just had anything to add.
No, yeah. I was going to say, the only difference between myself, Kareem, and a Kevin Hart is what he just said. He has a platform. We can talk about anything.
Right.
As you know, and you're gonna have your signature jokes. You're relatable. You always have to be relatable. You can't walk into a comedy club and do jokes about Pop Smoke. Just can't do it because they're not gonna know who he is, because majority of the people in the comedy club, they're not even from New York. They're all tourists. They speak zero English. Like, they're just happy to be in America. Oh, what is this Pop Smoke? We don't know this. Like, they have no idea who the fuck he is, right? So it's always good to, like, read the room, listen to what the host is doing, or even the comic that's on before you.
Right.
You don't want to go on Kareem, he knows, like, you don't want to go up on after that comic that just bombed. You like, oh, this motherfucker.
Yeah, you like, oh, this joke ain't gonna work. Oh, this joke ain't gonna hit because that one didn't hit. Like, you got.
Yeah.
That brings us something deep. Like, I feel like comics just like performing an artist. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, let's salute. Y'all the first comedians we had on the show. We had a lot of different types of people. We had a lot of different people, all different art forms, teaching professions, but we haven't had comedians. And it makes me think, I feel like comedians are underrated for dealing with trauma, dealing with psychological issues. It gets deep. When you talk about reading the room, I have a question for y'all. Y'all don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I think people play this light, which y'all do. Did you ever read the room? And sometimes we do this when we doing a show, like rapping, poetry. We'll go in about to, like, stage dive and get lit, and we'll notice somebody look like they're traumatized, something happened to them, you know what I mean? And we switch it up real quick just because we're able to read the room and give them some empathy. And then later on, we get the smiles, we get the laughing, but it's not appropriate right then. Did you ever have to read a room and notice like somebody lost somebody or someone passed away or it was a tragedy? And how did you deal with that as a comic? Being that people a lot of times just expect you to go right into the funniness. How did you deal with that? And what's an example you could give possibly?
Well, me personally, like doing boxing, like always like helps me like more read the room. You know what I mean? Cause like I said, there's a bunch of MCs, comedians in here. You know what I mean? So it's just like a setup punchline. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the bars, you know what I mean? You set up, you punch. You know what I mean? So like with me, like with boxing, it teaches me to set up and punch. I've been doing that before I did comedy. So I'm like, okay, I've been doing this my whole life. I just got to do it a different way mentally. You know what I mean? Set them up and punch. You know what I mean? So when I be looking at the crowd, I'd be like, okay, I go into my file of jokes. And if I hit like a family joke and I go into my family setup, then I'd be like, okay, this is working. I'm gonna keep going this direction. If I see is like, okay, my setup, they not catching on to the setup, I'm gonna abandon the ship and go to my next joke. You know what I mean? So I see a lot of comedians, like you probably see it too, just they live and die with their 3. They live and die by the 3. You know what I'm saying? Like they come in with they set material and that's it. They not going to deviate from the plan. You know what I'm saying? And that's some comedians do it that way too.
That's true. I forgot to mention. Yeah, right. Wah, wah. I forgot to mention Kareem. You know,
and more dying than living.
He was a little late on that soundboard, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Yeah, I forgot to mention you, Kareem. I boxed in high school. I went to Gleason's gym.
Oh, word? That's what's up.
The Mecca of boxing.
That's what's up.
But shout out to you with your own boxing gym. That is awesome. That's dope.
I appreciate that, man.
I still box now. Right now I'm just training at like Chelsea. But
okay.
Until they're trying to force me to get the vaccination before I could go back to Gleason's.
oh yeah. I saw that on the line. I'm like, yo, they tripping with that.
Yeah, they're going in. But but like you said, like to add to what Kareem said, I'm one of those that I like pay attention when I'm on stage. Like I could tell when I'm offending someone, right? So I'll look at them and be like, oh, it's just comedy, right? And then I'll do something else and they'll laugh. And I'm like, you see? You know what I mean? Like if I do jokes about how Indian customers are the worst customers in retail. And somebody was like, well, it's not true. And then I might think of something but it is true, right? So like if you've ever gone in a store, they're the worst, right? They'll try on everything on the wall and then ask you for a discount after if the shoe is too high for them in prices. It's just nonsense. Oh, which one is a display? Which one? Buddy. Like they always doing the head thing, and it's just really annoying. Which is why most of the time I get out of work late. Like if I see an Indian customer, I run. I love your food, but you guys are terrible as customers.
You know what I'm.
So I will disclaim. I will disclaim for the sake of disclaimer. We had 2 comedians here, man. So if anybody get offended, you might want to shut off or tell somebody else that won't get offended. At the same time, they are at freedom to speak their mind. You know what I mean? At the same time, simultaneously, it may not at all be the thoughts of sound minds, but nonetheless, any guest in here is free to speak. You know, they free to speak their mind, man. So
yo, I'm still stuck. I'm still stuck, George.
Ends. Hey, yo, I got my family in India that's probably gonna see this. I need to know how you play this one off.
Yo, I'm stuck because Justin said he did a Weekend at Bernie's impersonation.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I need to know what the impression is.
I was like, hold on, wait a minute, wait. Nobody said nothing.
As a kid,
I picked up on it. I picked up on it. I was like, yeah, I get it. Yo, Just, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was gonna ask you to do that impression right now because I was so amazed by.
No.
I like how you do that, bro.
As a kid, though, it was when I was.
My man goes to sleep. That's the impression. Yo, so I gotta ask y'all, and it's funny, man.
Like we got two good questions in the chat, by the way. If you
okay,
are you able to see them?
No, I don't. I don't.
Oh, you can't see him. Okay, okay. Dad is now hit us with two more questions.
Oh, I see them. I see the questions.
Yeah, he says, so what's your feelings on comedians stealing jokes?
Ooh, dirty mother.
Okay. I mean, I
I
can
mean,
go quick.
being in that circle, like what have you seen? You know, like I want to know.
Yo, I seen comedians steal like a whole bit. Like, see, because you know, a lot of them be confused. I'm 42, so like they be thinking I'm younger, and I be like, bro, I seen all of the Def Jams, bro. Like you took that whole skit. Like I'm like, you
Same
killing me,
here.
bro.
Yep.
I be like, yo,
Yo.
I just be like, oh man, the disrespect is crazy. I'm like, wow. And then they try to revamp it. It hurts. It hurts. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
Don't do that. It's like a dude spitting like Rakim shit. Or you like, bro, that's
in 2022 talking about the new vibe.
What?
Yeah.
No, he's not lying though. Like I've same. Like I've watched every Def Jam. I've watched specials of all of the people you know, that I grew up watching, and I my influences. And I've seen most recently I saw a comic steal my topic and try and hit it from another point, and it was whack. Right?
What is before you went on stage?
Nah, I had already gone on stage. I didn't even do the joke that day.
Oh,
but I was just sitting there like, where you get a Chinatown bus joke? You know what I mean? Like, where you get that from? And then I thought to myself, oh, I had you on my show 2 months before. So you must have been sitting in the back of the room like, oh, I could do that shit better. Well, do it. Go ahead. Do it better.
Right.
And it was whack. You know what I mean? I also, exactly. Yeah. look, he got it. He got it on point.
Yeah, he on point now. He on point now.
Yeah, but sometimes, you know, there are times where people have the same topic, and that's fine. Because nothing is, at this point, it's your point of view, right? So there's going to be a topic that you guys, oh, I went to the movies. Well, I go to the movies too. Oh, I got a girlfriend too. So, you know, it's also like what Kareem said, like people have stolen whole Richard Pryor jokes, whole Seinfeld jokes, both Eddies, Griffin and Murphy. So it does happen. I don't
Do they have careers after that?
Carlos Mencia was a millionaire after stealing from George Lopez and Joe Rogan and so on and so on. There's footage of him on
and
his, there's a documentary, and he goes, yeah, I'll steal your shit. So what?
And then there's some comedians that are like on the local scenes, right? That will actually try to sell jokes to high level comedians. So the high level comedian won't know that the joke is stolen. They'll just do the joke, and then the comedian go on Twitter like, "Yo, that's my joke. You stole my joke." And then a dude like Kevin Hart, like, "Where was I ever at to steal the joke from you?" I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's so crazy because
I paid for this joke cash money. Talk to that man. I paid for this joke.
Y'all making me realize that, like, from one vantage point, you thinking, all right, is it authentic or is it stolen, right? But y'all sparking the axons and dendrites a little bit deeper, sound minds, because what you pointed out is just like when music royalties was first made for musicians, right? The money was being sold off the composition, the writing of the lyrics, and then many people will perform it. And you might have a Marvin Gaye, a Tammy Terrell, someone who could just sing it really well. To certain, and I've definitely had times where I heard a joke and I try to lighten the mood and say a joke I heard somewhere else, and it was horrible and it made the mood 10 times worse. So I understand personally that there's a gift to being able to parlay the comedy, even with the same words, right? So how much of that is like I feel like with MCs, right? The ones who I feel the most, they wrote it and they say it. But I could also see somebody being a great singer who's singing something that wrote somebody else that's real to them. Could y'all, what is that like for comedians? How much okay is it for you to take something and work on it? Is it like singing, in other words?
Well, like to me, it comes from the inside of the comedian. Like, like I might be like with some of my comedian buddies or whatever, and I might have a new joke that I'm working on, and they be like, "Yo, that joke is fire." Like, if you expand on it, like da da da. I mean, I'm like, okay, that's okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? And we go back and forth like that. But it's like, like nobody actually like writing like, "Yo, here, say this." You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I could do that and make it come off authentic. See, like Justin, like, you know what I mean? He's doing acting now. He about to get them speaking lines and all that. You know what I mean? So he about to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So like, you know what I mean? Like to read somebody else's work and like make it come to life. That's different shit. Like, like with Drake, like a lot of people like Drake. And then like, when they was like, oh, he don't write his own thing. And then it's like, some people felt the type of way. But then some people like, I don't care if he write it. I just like the song. I don't care. You know what I mean? So like hip hop is taking a whole new form too. You know what I mean? Almost like singing, like you said, like it's okay to sing somebody that somebody else wrote. You can sing it now. You know what I mean? So now you can rap it now. Jokes are getting the same way. Like,
yeah, it seems like I think as we go more towards the future, there's a lot of stuff that respectfully more, based off morals and originality, you had more cadence of getting respectful, whereas now it just doesn't even matter. It's just like, oh, word, nah, it just sounded dope, so it don't even matter who wrote it,
right.
Which is crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So back in the day, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Back in the day, biting was a big, you know what I mean? Like, yo, fam, you biting my rhymes or you biting this? And now it's just like, oh yeah, nah, he bit it, but it sounds better on him. Like, nah, that's not the way it should be. But I do got a question though, in the vein of Justin's Indian joke, right? Is there anything that you guys see off limits to? Is there anything like when you were about to go on stage that you like, yo, let me not touch a vaccine joke because it's too close to the government. I don't want nobody, following up on my phone calls, or let me not touch upon a homosexual joke, or let me, you know what I'm saying? Like anything that you kind of like sway away from where you like, nah, not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Or something that you never touch upon, or for respect of a certain type of culture or niche or somebody, respectful.
I don't do jokes on religion. I make fun of politicians. I don't talk politics on stage. Yeah. But anything else, man, I make fun of everybody. It's just I think what people don't like about maybe impressions and talking about how certain nationalities act in certain situations is true. So like it hits too close to home for them. Like when I do, if you guys watch my clips, when I do my Chinese bus joke, like that shit really happens. Like it's not but check this out. On the flip of that, when you talk about yourself and I talk about my Puerto Rican side of the family, and I talk about being black and this and that, and they them same people that got offended will laugh at those jokes. But when the joke's on them, they don't like it.
Yeah. So somebody always not gonna like it, somebody always gonna like it. It is what it is, you know what I mean? Like me, I don't have nothing off limits, you know what I mean? So like it's always like, like if I'm in the room and I do a Joe Biden joke and it's a bunch of Trump supporters, they gonna laugh. You know what I mean? So it's like if I could fill the room out and be like, okay, it's more this way. I don't really do a lot of political comedy because I'm not into politics. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's like the elephant in the room. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I want to touch on it. I mean, I want to test the waters. And a lot of times, like, let's say if I'm hosting, so it's different if you hosting the show, if you featuring, and if you headlining. Yeah. So like if I'm hosting the show, I gotta take it on the chin for the rest of the squad. You know what I'm saying? I got to do them alley-oops and shit. So I gotta take one for the team. Let me see if these jokes is hitting. So then I'm like, yo, political shit ain't hitting tonight, y'all. Don't like fuck that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm hosting, I gotta go back to the green room. Like, yeah, those ain't hitting. That's their family's hitting. They liking those. So then the show runs smooth. You know. So it depends on what lineup I'm at in the show.
Which is that right there is a gem right there. Hell yeah, that's a gem for anybody following up, trying to get into the life where it's just like, yo, I really don't want to be that set of dude. I don't have that confidence. You know what I mean?
Right.
That is true.
Now, the other question I have for y'all, has there ever been, or percentage-wise, how much of your material, your set, is ever based on reality or your own life?
Majority of mine is.
Yeah.
All of my stuff is like basically about my family, where I grew up, what I do for a living, and my experiences around New York, or if I go, to another town, experiences there, yeah. So majority of my stuff is about me. I don't really do topical jokes like that. I try and keep it personal, so that way no one can be like, oh, well, so and so does that joke. You know what I mean? So, and I stick to my impressions too, like my different nationality voices that I can do. So, yep.
Yeah, that same here. Like I stick to my, I stick to what I know. I stick to like, like my family, you know what I mean? Like my life, you know what I mean? Like my ups and downs and things that I go through on a daily basis. Or like if I have a friend or a buddy that has a situation that I was a part of, I might bring them into it. You know what I mean? Or if I got like an uncle or something like that, or like, you know what I mean? I had a situation I might talk about, you know what I mean? That I remember from when I was a kid or something like that. But it's always about like my life and what I'm going through and like how I see things.
Yeah.
Y'all
especially
got
like, go ahead, yeah.
now go ahead, Ring, go ahead, because I got
No,
a selfish question, B.
No, because I was saying like, because like, so now it's like, it's different too. Because like crowds, like he was saying, like, in New York, when you got a lot of different foreign people, so you got to, be on worldly events, things like that, like know what's going on around the world, especially like, when you have different types of crowds. Like, 'cause I do like black rooms. I do like, white rooms, you know what I'm saying? Like all white rooms, all black rooms. And sometimes it's like different. You know what I mean? It's different. You know what I mean? So like when I see a lot of black comedians, when they in the black room, they could be like, yo, y'all know how it is when your mom, you know what I'm saying? When you come home late, your mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already starting to get laughs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
White people like, no, tell us more. Tell us more,
Yeah,
Kareem.
yeah,
We don't know nothing about that. No, nope. You know what I mean?
I don't
So
know
you
what
got to, you know what I'm saying? So you
Yeah,
got to.
there'd be a lot of psychoanalyzing, B. I've
Right, so
noticed
you
that.
gotta break things down a little bit more when they not from that culture. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Yeah,
true.
I
He
do
not
notice
lying.
that. A lot of times when I've, any shows I went to, man, I see a black or brown comedian up, man, and they talking about their families, and I just for a minute I look around. Even the movie Get Out, you know what I'm saying? Like I took my oldest daughter to see that, and a couple of things that were funny, but there was, and this is not to exclude any Caucasian folk or Asian or nothing like that, but certain jokes that went by, there was a lot more laughter that I was like,
Right,
yo, y'all wouldn't be doing that if you wasn't comfortable. You know what I mean? So even
right,
my,
right.
my daughter, I mean, we could talk about it now because the person, it don't even matter. But my daughter sitting
Right.
next to this Caucasian woman who was laughing during a Get Out segment where they did something. And my daughter looked at me like, yo, daddy, why is she laughing so hard? Dumb loud. I was like,
Right.
baby, let's be easy. We in the movies. You know what I mean? So y'all got to ask y'all a question, man. This is a selfish question. Why do uncles get it so hard in every comedic set? Like, there's always an Uncle Charlie or uncle that's always drunk or always steals or always, you know what I mean? Why do the uncles get it that hard, B?
Did you say that there's always an Uncle Charlie? Like I have an Uncle Charlie. he's cool though. It's my other uncle back in the days that used to be doing some dumb shit. But I don't know. Maybe it's our parents' siblings or our grandparents' siblings. They just do some wild stuff. So that's
And
why
then,
there's always a crazy auntie and a crazy uncle.
and sometimes dudes' moms are just promiscuous, and that wasn't no real uncle. That was a play uncle. That wasn't no real uncle. Like he's see him in no family photos. Right? That's not a real uncle. He's not your real uncle.
It's fair game after that.
Word.
Yo, dudes really looking back in their lives, like reflecting on family photos, like, yo, you know what? That dude, I ain't never seen no
Who is
no
this?
type of anything that looked like,
It's
crazy.
wow
Whose son are you? Who's your mother?
Yo, that's hilarious how you said that much.
Wow. How hard is it to break it in the world of comedy? How hard I know y'all had your own personal experiences, but in general, how hard do you feel like anybody who's thinking about, yo, I'm funny, I make my people laugh, you know what I mean? How hard is it to really break it in this type of world?
And can you tie that into an experience, from another question in the chat that says, have you ever bombed? Have you ever bombed?
Yeah, how do you know you broke it and how do you know you bombed it?
So
everybody bombs till this day. Any comic that tells you that they don't bomb is lying. Seinfeld still bombs. Like, you think Kevin Hart just comes up with a new hour and it's crisp? No. He's
Right.
trying it out for like 6 months to a year, and then he tapes it, right? And as far as breaking in, nowadays we have social media, right? So all those influencers, because they're not comics, right? Some
Right.
are, but majority
Right.
of them, they're just influencers, right? And they got the little profile. I'm a comedian. Then they get on stage and they can't do 5 minutes. The best way is to perform. There's no shortcuts in comedy. Some people may get things before you, but it's all of my friends here in New York, veteran comics that are just starting out. A lot of them, I learned from the veterans. It's a marathon. It's not a race. So the
Right.
best way to get in and get good is just to do it. There are no shortcuts in comedy, because there might be a time where you may get that push, but are you ready for America's Got Talent? Are you ready for
Right.
the
Right.
movies? Are you ready for the stand-up specials?
Is
You
it
know
going
what
to be
I'm saying? Like,
sustainable? Right. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because like a lot of people, like he was saying, like, you know, I've been in comedy clubs where you see like a dude, I ain't gonna mention no names, where they be like, you know, they do a lot of these YouTube videos and they be funny, like, yo, my lady coming over, and then they book them and they make a big flyer, and then these dudes is trash when they get there. Yeah, I mean, the audience is like, okay, what's up? I need some structured jokes, and then they got to get with one of the comedians to write for them.
Yeah.
Being that you're a comedian, you're a comedian before social media, where you got social media made comedians, like, how does social media, which is another question from the chat, how does social media help you, get larger exposure, and how does it help you?
It's instant. So, you post your flyer, you can post your link, you can post your videos, anything that you have coming up. It draws people to you. It draws sponsorships to you. So it's a good way to, get your fan base going without just emailing people with, mailing lists and things like that. It's like, it's right away. So, like, you can meet your next person that might design a shoe for you in the future. You never even know, like, who you're
Right.
talking to. So I think social media is good, but it's bad because, like Kareem and I just said, like, I won't mention no names, but I know someone who at this point is an alumni of Wild 'N Out, who's gotten their ass whooped because they were doing skits for years and they got
Yeah, I was
booked on
talking
a
about the
big
same
gig.
person.
They got booked. Look, they got booked on a gig, and the guys, it was somewhere in the Midwest. They took him out back when it was time to pay him. They whooped his ass. The same comic, because now he's an actual comedian, but he wasn't at one point in his career. He just knocked somebody out on stage and did an hour right after. Same comic.
Facts.
Highs and
Crazy.
lows.
Crazy.
Facts.
Yeah.
How now, speaking of social media, what about TikTok? Like, you feel me? Like, are y'all on the TikTok wave? I also see people, like, what they would do, they would reenact a comics piece, you know what I mean?
Sketch.
Like,
Yeah, I seen that before.
they'll literally reenact it, and it'll sound like they'll
Yeah.
mouth it just like it's them. You know
Battle
what I mean?
rap. I
Like,
seen all that.
yeah, like, so are y'all putting your any pieces up so it can be reenacted on TikTok?
I don't even know how to mess with TikTok, to be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't even know how to navigate.
So that's hilarious. So I haven't put any of my like bits on there yet. I have put some like boxing clips up there just for fun, right? And then I put like something that I'm creating now where I see, like, I saw something the other day about a vegan beef patty at Golden Crust, and I did it in like I accidentally did it in a Trinidadian voice, and I didn't realize it till after I recorded it and put it up. Like, I had the beginning part was Jamaican, and then I said something that yeah. At the
Switched
end,
over.
at the end, I said something that a
TNT wave your flag.
Oh, damn. But it was still funny because,
Right.
people liked it. But I'm going to put some bits up there because I know what you mean. I've seen Rashid Thurman. Shout out to Rashid, R.I.P. East New York. East New York. There a lot of people have reenacted his bits into skits. Same with Kevin Hart.
Yo, I think y'all revealed some secrets. See, we always get this from Sound Minds just because the conversation's real. I hope y'all enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Like y'all coming with the jokes, but I feel like we building as brothers as well. So I just want to thank you for that vibe. That's what we try to get here. You know what I'm saying? But like one of the secrets I feel like y'all revealing, tell me if I'm way off, is like when you talk about the different nationalities, Asian people, you talking about Reem, you talked about the uncles, right? One thing that appears to me is like an uncle is close to your family, but not too close, right?
Yeah.
It's basically like saying this dude who is close enough for me to critique, but not close enough where you could judge me by him. Where maybe if it's my father and my mother, if I'm saying something about them, I'm saying something about myself, right? Right. Same thing if you, especially in the New York area, I don't know, like Connecticut's a little bit different. I don't know, definitely Midwest a little bit different. But when you talk about different nationalities in New York, we get the feeling that Justin, these are actual, like when he's talking about customer service, he's talking about actually working with these people, right? So I think everybody in New York understands, for you to understand the difference between a Jamaican accent and a Trini accent and a Chinese person and Indian, it's because you're interacting with these women and men on a daily basis. And I just realized that was kind of like an unspoken secret in here where we jab at each other all the time because we know each other. And in places like New York, it's acceptable because it's not like that person who I've never seen that race and don't interact. It's like I build with Chinese people on a daily. Like some of my best friends in New York, a Chinese dude might dunk on me and be the best basketball player that I know. Facts. You know,
and you'll make a joke on him in his your joke and do a Chinese joke right there after you get dunked on.
Right. With some crouching tiger.
I ain't gonna do the impersonation now. Well, I cut myself off when I was about to impersonate.
Yo, so which brings me to a question too, man. How many times, because it just reminded me, there was a show I went to, it was at Caroline's, I believe. And fam, he was up there on the stage. I think he was like the third dude, and we was sitting right in the front. So Duke ordered, he was dry, so he started trying to get at the audience. So he looked at my man. He was like, yo, like fam right here, right? This Gucci sweater, and this was years ago. So I ain't gonna lie to you. Off rip, I said, nah, fam, we not gonna be part of your show. So we started getting at him, started, destroying this dude. And his whole act, I felt bad because now his whole set is ruined. So when we finished, he came to us at the end. He was like, yo, y'all foul for that, man. Y'all just killed my whole show. Like, yo, dude, you got to watch your mouth, though. Like, you got to expect how much of that happens, like, when you're performing and the audience actually kind of hinders or even elevates your show. Does that ever happen where you're affected by the audience themselves?
Oh, yeah, that shit is great, especially when you're doing, like, crowd work. It's like you got to expect whatever. Like, if you do a crowd work, you got to be swift. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk to them if you don't want the fucking, you know what I mean, response back. You know what I mean? Like, I had a show like 2 weeks ago. I was in the crowd. I was like, yo, where the married couples at? Whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Ladies started clapping mad loud. I was like, okay. I was like, damn, how long y'all been married? She was like 17 years married, 2 divorced. I was like, oh God, this is about to be a great show. This shit's about to be lit. I was like, we need to get more into this now. You know what I mean? So now she just took up 10 minutes of the slot now. Cause I was like, wait, hold up. I was like, her husband sitting there with the dashiki on. The shit was already funny. I was like, I ain't even have to do nothing.
And he wasn't clapping and she was.
Yo, he was just sitting there grinning and shit. I was like, yo, my man, what's going on? She had 6 daughters and shit got out of control.
That's the sad part though, Reem. You ain't know. Fam ain't know about the 2 other divorces. You know what I mean? He said that dude was like, yo, what's she talking about 2 divorces?
So like, you know what I mean? Like shit like that happens, man. Like when you come at the crowd, it's like you gotta expect whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like if the crowd is just like so now if I come at the crowd member, right? Like how you said the dude came at you, and then you say something back, and then it's like then he can't respond, then that'll fuck him up. But now let's say if y'all just start talking. and then the comment come at you. Now the crowd is gonna be against y'all because you interrupted. When he asks you something, that's on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, if you just start talking in the crowd, like, come on, man, like, chill out with that. You know what I'm saying? Like why you messing up the show? You know what I mean? But if he talked to y'all first, then that's on him. You know what I mean?
That remind me of a white dude on YouTube, and all his clips is just segments of his show where people try to heckle him, and he roasts.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
So he don't show his whole
Dude
show,
funny,
but it's good
funny.
promotion just to
Yeah.
show. It make you want to go to the
That's
show and
funny.
see like what his actual act.
Right. Like some people sharp enough to do that shit. Some people should just stay away from it.
Yeah, like
if you're not used to snapping, you
right.
need to get out of there.
Right. Nah, it's true. I've had heckler situations. People don't usually heckle me because like there's been times where like I've gotten heckled and I would just go in and like the host would be like, yo, Jay, chill, like yo, that's and like yo, no lie. One time I was at Essence. I love Essence. It's one of my favorite comedy rooms in New York. And there was like some OG dude sitting in the front, and it's hilarious. My watch is telling me I made this amount of steps, and I've been sitting down with you guys for 15 minutes. I haven't moved, but anyway, I was, he was laughing, but the way he was laughing, he had like one of these weird laughs. So I said something, the whole room got quiet. So I'm looking around. And I'm looking at the bouncer like, and he's just staring at me, right? So I said, oh man, y'all look, this dude, I said, you must be an OG. Like, you must have killed a couple people. And he laughed even harder. I said, yo, my man. I said, yo, you want a drink? And I just went into the next joke, right? And then, like, I remember when I got off stage, it was like, yo, you know who that was, yo? Like, yo, he just got out. He just did like 30 years. Like, yo, he's known around here in Crown Heights. Like, this motherfucker's killer. I'm like, why you ain't tell me that? Like, before, like, give me instructions before I go on stage and see this dude over here just staring. It was the way he was laughing. I was like, he's enjoying this show a little too much. So I kind of like, I acknowledged it, and that's when like the entire room got quiet. And I was like, oh, okay.
Right. Crazy.
Shout out to Dad is a now. Dad is not a now.
That is not a now. Shout out to you, brother, for always supporting my man Ish. Yo, so now let's kind of segue, right? Because we all know, and especially in a room full of artists, we know what it is to be an artist, and we know like most times the artistry is really a passion. But you, like I said before, you do need to keep the mortgage up. You know what I mean? Unless you really selling out shows and you doing whatever you're doing, that money is not going to sustain itself. But you brothers also have another life outside of comedy. I want to kind of dive into that a little bit, man, so we can speak about, how you balance that all out. So Kareem, you are, and I definitely want to get into that too, brother. So you're an entrepreneur who opened up your own boxing gym and started training people. More so, I see a lot of youth that you train, which I want to shout you out, brother. Definitely proud of you for doing that, man, because we know that the youth need it. You're also outside of boxing, which is crazy because it's kind of like in the lineage of you doing the boxing thing and owning your own gym. You also are a boxing announcer, ring announcer, and you also are a boxing commentator. So if you can speak to us, give us that how that even started, how you jumped into even owning your gym and all that, because I heard the story's a little crazy. Right. So if you can go into that and tell us about that that entrepreneurial mindset and that endeavor that you kind of jumped upon.
Well, it's crazy because like my whole boxing, like my whole boxing club, it started because of stand-up comedy. You know what I mean? So I was able to like produce my own stand-up comedy shows, and the shows started to get lucrative enough. I earned enough capital to open up my own club. You know what I mean? So like when I so like a lot of the comedy clubs, you know what I mean? Like a lot of it is like politics, you know what I mean? So a lot, you got to hang around a lot of the times, kiss babies and all of that. You know what I mean? I ain't had time for all of that. You know what I mean? So I was like, I got to start doing my own thing. So I bought my own lighting equipment. You know what I mean? After doing it. So any money I got from comedy, I put it right back in. I bought speakers, I bought mics, I bought whatever I needed and put it right back into the show. So then I started doing shows from there. And then I was working at a local gym, and they hired a new manager. Kind of got into it with the dude. He kind of like felt intimidated or something by me in some weird way, whatever. So we got into it. So I ended up leaving the gym. So one of the kids that I was training at that gym, his mom and their family, they own a pool business. So they normally go away for the winter. And after I got into it with the manager, they had fired me. So the mom had hit me back up and they was like, yo, we coming back from Florida. You know what I mean? I want my son to continue training. So I was like, listen, I don't work at the spot no more. They fired me. So she was like, what? She's like, oh, my son was doing so good. He was doing better in school. I don't want to take him out of the boxing. So I was like, when I get another spot or whatever, you know what I mean? I'll let you know. So like, so she was like, yo, I'm on the phone with my dad. As I was talking to her, she was texting her dad that owns the building. So it had an empty space in it. So she was like, yo, my dad said he got an empty spot that, you know what I mean? He'll let you go for a little bit, you know what I mean, to see if you could build it up. So I was like, bet I'll go see it now. So I was supposed to be out looking for a job. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even had no car. I had a car accident like a couple months before that. You know what I mean? So I had my neighbors with, you know what I mean? So I'm going out looking for a job. So I was like, I'll stop through there on my way looking for a job. So I went through, I looked at the spot. I was like, I want it. I was like, how much is it? She was like, yo, so he was like, let me talk to him now. So he was like, yo, I'll let you get in there for a few months to try to fix it up. And then I'll charge you this month. You know what I mean? He was like a 1,100, 1,200 type thing. Right. So I'm like, bet. I was like, that's what I had in the bank. So I just gave him the first deposit. You know what I mean? So like, that was all we had in the bank. So I came home. My wife was like, yo, you any luck? You found a job? Any connections? I was like, no, but we got a boxing gym. So she was like, what you mean? I was like, yeah, we own a club now. She was like, what? I was like, yeah, I just put the money down. She was like, we don't know how to do that. I was like, we gonna have to learn. They got Google and shit. We could figure it out. Just like we could figure it out, and then we just went from there. So like last
for
week
those
was
of y'all in a relationship, what he's saying right now is beyond what you're hearing right now. Sound minds. What he's saying right now about the conversation that took place, about the last dollar that was spent, and the commitment and the trust and the seriousness is beyond the words you're hearing right now. Sound minds.
Man. So we did that. You know, actually, I went to a program in the Lower. You know what I mean? It was a program I went to in the Lower. It was called the Papa program. So it was for young fathers, right? So they had brought in this company called Nifty, and they was for young entrepreneurs.
Shout out to Nifty.
Yo, you know Nifty. You know Nifty.
Entrepreneurship changed my life.
Yo, I'm trying to bring it out here. I'm trying to bring it out here. So like, I went to the course.
Anything I could do.
So I went to the course and I was like, yo, so I was like, yo, we don't know how to run a business. I was like, yo, I still got the workbooks in the attic. I went, dusted them shits off. Everything was right there in the thing. I was like, yeah, everything was right there in the book. You know what I mean? So then we just opened up, and last week was 5 years. So it's been 5 years since I've been open. Yeah.
Let's go.
That's dope, man. That's dope. I would love to come train there, man.
Hell yeah, yo. No, you know what? You're gonna come train, and I'm gonna book you for a show. We gonna do something. We gonna do it like that. You know what I mean? We can do it 2 times, double it up.
Yeah. Yo, hey, and they said if the dad is not announced. That is not announced. Says that show should be called Damn, you got knocked out.
Yo, you know Sergio? You know Sergio, Justin?
Sergio Tacon, that's my guy, man.
Okay, that's my dude. Yeah, all right. That's what's up.
I know Sergio.
That's what's up.
So fellas, we've been talking about
the question.
Yeah. Go ahead, Justin. Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I got it. So if you guys, and this is full disclosure, sometimes when y'all see me laughing, it's because there's so many multiple things going on within one side of one episode. My brother Kareem will jump into a totally different conversation while things are going. Love you, Kai. Justin, yeah, definitely go into to your entrepreneur thing, man, and then also, man, we want to see the back and forth too, man, because I think what Kareem said and what Kareem actually what Rap Poet actually kind of like shined upon was that investment part. That this is me jumping into the pool without knowing that there's water in it. You know what I'm saying? And if I fall and crash, I fall and crash. But if the water hit, be the most tremendous dive you'll ever see in your life. You know what I mean? And that's that investment, especially in partnerships, when you are married, when you are in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's pretty dope. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Just, go ahead, brother. Talk to us about your endeavors, man.
For the last since January, I haven't worked. Right? Oh, hold on. The
New
Lower East
York,
Side got
baby,
them
New
bikes
York.
out. Yeah, they got them dirt bikes out here. I'm right on Allen Street doing this podcast. Like, I'm right. Empanada Mama about to see me in like a few minutes. Anyway, no, but seriously though, so I've been out of work. You know, I was at A6 last year. My store went out of business. It wasn't because of COVID. That's what they said, but I know the real truth. And I started working at the post office for the holiday season, and then they did national layoffs. Now I'm back with A6, but for basically I do retail for a living, right? However, a good friend of mine, Warren Gardner, is a stand-up comic from East New York. East New York. Anyway, I got to do that. He told me there's going to come a point in time where you are going to be at crossroads, right? It's going to be your comedy career or your daytime, right? So now my daytime is getting in the way. It's not getting in the way of my comedy because comedy's at night, but it's starting to get in the way of my acting, right? A good friend of mine, Avery Mason, he was on the show Power. He was Black Grimace. If you guys watched the show, Rotimi killed him. Hey, if I spoiled it for you, you're 2 years too late, bitches. Anyway, I asked him today what I should do because he told me once you get in with a casting company and they like you, right? I did one show, one background acting gig, and now after I set up my profile on Grant Wilfrey Casting, they're hitting me up every day, right? So all week I was at work, and every day that I was there, the 5 days that I was there, my watch was going off, my phone was going off. Hey, we got a role for you. Hey, we got a role for you. The only reason I can't do it this week coming up is because I'm going to Atlanta for the 1865 Comedy Festival. Now, while I'm out there, I'm going to do a lot of thinking on how am I going to work a full-time job, act, and do stand-up. I can do the stand-up, but I can't go out for these roles with that job in my way. So,
right.
like my brother Kareem has his own business, I am a reseller. I love sneakers. I've resold a couple things over the pandemic. Most recently, I think I had like the Jordan 11 lows, the blue ones, you know, the blue all white patent leathers that just came out, and it's got the UNC. I sold them in 2 hours. Nike delivered them to me on a Wednesday. I put them on GOAT, and in 2 hours they were sold. So I dropped them off at Flight Club the next day. So that's another thing that I do on the side, other than working my retail gig and getting acting gigs here and there and doing stand-up, is I resell sneakers. It's gonna make all of y'all laugh on here. I actually have cereal boxes with Little Yachty's face on it that I'm about to flip. Right?
I seen those.
Yo, listen, $5 you could turn into 60, and if you get all four and form his face, you got $100. Just saying, these kids will buy anything.
That's crazy.
2 years ago, Travis Scott was on the same cereal box, Reese's Puff cereal. They got this guy got a European version of the cereal box, signed, sold it for $200. That's a side hustle of mine, is reselling clothing.
I think something y'all. First of all, y'all showing that y'all doing a lot of things, right? Y'all are definitely like many of us. The myth that you just do one thing and it looks like what it looks like when you're on stage is exactly that. It's not true. But one thing I want to say is when y'all do your event at the boxing club, we want to be there too, because one thing we've been planning for future seasons. This might not be next season. It might be 2 or 3 seasons down the road. But there's a young brother, if you watch our last couple podcasts, he just opened a coffee spot sustainable for the community in Hunts Point. And we said, you know what? We need to do an episode from there. We need to do an episode from the boxing club. We need to do episodes in places with Sound Minds Constellation. You know what I mean? So we're bringing it in locations now that COVID is opening back up. So that's something we would love to do with you. But I want to touch on definitely. I want to touch on the idea of acting in particular, right? And for Reem hosting other people's events in particular. One thing people think is that, like, you've already touched on the fact that you don't just freestyle on stage. I'm sure sometimes you do. I know DC Young Fly is hilarious. Like that dude remind me of a freestyle MC where I don't care where he's at. He could just look at you for 3 hours and we gonna be on the floor. But you touched on the fact of preparing, and he probably prepares a lot more than people know. When you talk about hosting for other people and acting roles, I think part of what you're saying is that you need to memorize those lines. It's not just a matter of balancing different shows and showing up. It's a matter of the homework you have to do for a lot of these gigs. When you're hosting, I'm hosting something right now, and I'm getting contracts for different artists and making sure they're prepared. None of this is stuff that people know about when they see me on the mic. Could y'all talk about that part of it? Does it take just as much time as what people know, or does it take like 3 or 10 times more than what people think they know you're putting your time into?
Want to go first, Kareem? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
like Justin do more of the acting side, like me, as far as like the hosting, because I've been doing like the ring announcing thing. So on June 19th, I got another event, with CES Boxing that I'm doing the ring announcing for. Like when I first appreciate y'all, So I appreciate that. When I first started doing it, right, I was trying to do like my Michael Buffer shit, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? And I was like, I was like, the fuck about this ain't me. I was like, the fuck am I doing? You know what I'm saying? So then it was like the crowd there for whatever reason. It was in between the rounds or whatever. Like the DJ was there, he had some Fat Joe playing, like Lean Back came on. So I was in my bag. I had my suit on, whatever. So I was like, yo, everybody get up. The whole crowd get up. So I'm like, yo, everybody. So we all wilding and shit. Everybody. So they was like, yo, this is a different type of energy than we used to. But they had liked it because like it was different. You know what I mean? So it was almost like Barnum and Bailey and like Universal Soul Circus. You know what I'm saying? It was like, so it was like that kind of vibe. You know what I mean? So I just brought the Soul Circus to the shit. You know what I mean? So it was kind of fun, you know what I mean? And they respected it. You know what I mean? But I was like, fuck it. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it my way. You know what I mean? And that's how I do it. And if they like it, they like it. You know what I mean? Often too many times, like Black and Hispanic brothers, like people of color, we get criticized for speaking our truth and what we want to do. But like you could get like Chef Ramsay, like, what the fuck is this? Slam the plate and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like he could say whatever the fuck he want in the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? But like we say one thing, we wildin'.
Kidding me? Yo, that's I love Gordon Ramsay,
Yo, me too. I love that dude.
And I'm like, but we still know what he's saying, even if it's on Fox. He's like, fuck me senseless. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that dude is the truth, man.
Yo, that's funny. That is hilarious.
Yeah, but it's like, it's a mental thing of it. You know what I mean? It's a mental side of it. Like, so like to me, the thing that drew me to comedy is it's the most thing closest to boxing to me mentally.
There you go.
Yo, I agree with you.
I was gonna say, Justin. Answer the. Did you gave your answer yet? Because I definitely want to, and I'm gonna tie this all up too. Yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, to add to that, I agree with you. I could tell Kareem we're gonna get along because I am a boxing fanatic,
definitely,
super duper. So I agree with you in that. I also like to compare stand-up comedy a lot to wrestling because you don't get paid that much before you make it to the WWE.
Right.
A lot of the politics, even boxing and wrestling, it to me is so similar to comedy. But to answer the question, as far as first of all, I need that question one more time. Right? That's number one. But what it sounds like is what it sounds like, and I don't smoke.
Nah, I'm gonna give you the shortcut. I'm gonna give you the shortcut.
Give me the short.
When you're doing acting roles in the middle of comedy roles and retailing and Little Yachty cereal boxes, right? A lot of these things is you showing up and just being dope, right? But some of these things is like if you don't do your homework, you can't do it. Like you need to learn someone else's lines. You might have to memorize 10 pages, 20 pages, 30 pages. Could you talk about the amount of time that goes into that, where it's not just about if I'm funny or not, it's about did I memorize these lines, or am I just saying something that it might be funny, but it has nothing to do with this role that I got booked to do.
Right. So I think it's important to switch hats, right? So when I'm at work, right? My focus is that. When it's time to sit down and do a table read, right? Like when I was doing this film with my comedy brothers, right? And we were doing the role, we were doing lines for not white lines, but lines, written lines. You know, I just want to make that clear because we in the Lower East Side. Motherfuckers might be doing lines behind me. No, but seriously though, it's a time for everything, right? You got to focus on how the director wants you to deliver these lines, right? There was times where I would be acting a scene out and my co-star got mad at me, and it was because I was showing the passion for that particular scene because I read it and I was like, all right, it needs to be delivered this way. And I guess because my co-star felt like I was outshining him. First of all, like I have acting experience as a kid, and I haven't done it since I was 7 years old, right? I used to do something called Let's Pretend, which was the name of the program. It was a Saturday program where at 7 years old, my cousin and myself would write our own plays and act them out for the family, right? Our family would come and watch us perform. So that's like the only acting experience I had. And then when you're on stage, whether you're hosting, you're headlining, you're the middler, you're just doing a guest spot or paid spot, whatever, you should always know what is expected of you, right? One of my good mentors, Marlon Randolph, always told me, like, when you're on stage and you're getting paid, do what works. You know, is to like what you said, making sure it's funny, right? If you know it's funny and you're getting paid to be there, you also have to remember people are paying to see you. They're paying for them drinks, they're paying for them wings, they pay for the ticket. It's not only that they're coming to see a DL Hewley who might be headlining, they're also coming to see you because you're part of the show, the host, whoever's the opener, the first comment on stage to the last comment on stage. It's important to know exactly what you're doing for each thing, right? When me and selling sneakers, I know so much about them, right? There's gonna be times where, this Jordan 1 might not sell. We thought it was because it was so hyped. Everyone on YouTube was talking about it, but I think it's important to do what Michael Jackson taught all of us. Study the people before you. Study the legends before you, because you need to know where everything came from before you do it yourself. So that's important. And that's from Michael Jackson.
Jim.
Yeah, what's crazy? So the thought process behind having this particular episode, and it worked the way it was supposed to. And not to say that it was formulated or it's dope to see two brothers of color, man, Latino and Black, who took their passions and ran with the passion, right? Putting investments within themselves, but also your entrepreneurship and other endeavors in the sense of the selling of the boxes, the selling of the sneakers, the boxing, you know what I mean? Like, one of the reasons, one of the backbones to the thought process behind this episode was just that. I know that we, Black and brown, we're not taught in schools about money streams. We're not taught in schools about different money streams and how we, because like something that rap poet touched on earlier was, we're just taught how to do the one thing. Your 9 to 5 is that's what you're going to breathe on. That's what you're going to live on, and so on and so forth. And I know, the schools that I went to, as a matter of fact, Kareem, we went to the same schools. I never had one, not one course, not one class, you have your individual conversations with a teacher, or probably if you're lucky, but they never say, you get rich or you maintain based off of different money streams. And that's what y'all doing, whether it be the hosting, whether it be the boxing, whether it be, and it's a beautiful sight to see two brothers who took the thought, especially 2020, 2021, where it's just like, yo, we need to learn how to get those clean hustles and make your passion into a money stream. Right. So if this one money stream is paying these bills, this other money stream is taking care of the mortgage. This other money stream is taking care of that. And to see that, right, and whoever shares this, I would love for all of y'all to share this with our children who are coming up, or not excluding anybody, but definitely black and brown, who are kind of taught just to work for others. Whereas this episode is proven, take your passion, run with your passion, trust in yourself, but also know that you need to make other clean hustles to make it balance out. You know what I mean? So I want to commend you brothers for doing that, man, because y'all the epitome of that. You know what I'm saying? And saying like,
thank you,
I love boxing. I'm gonna open up a boxing gym. I love sneakers. I'm gonna sell sneakers. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So and not only that, but I know what you personally bring.
The title of the show is
Beyond the Laughs.
Yeah,
George used to play ball back in the day too. You know what I'm saying? George was nice with the rock back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember And One mixtape.
Yeah.
They had Escalade. They had Escalade. Like, George was like Tahoe. He was like he was like a mini Escalade.
I was punch card. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So but it's dope to see, like, because when y'all, I don't know, Justin, I don't know if you have children of your own right now. You know what I mean? But
no, I don't know. I got Nike and Adidas. Those are my.
There you go. There you go. And I'm pretty sure they looking at you like daddy's the best. Now, but you know what I mean? Like, you setting up the foundation for your children to sit there and be like, yo, my father never taught me just rely on one thing. Because when we rely on one thing, most times that's the slave mentality, because that one thing is usually ran by the slave master.
And it's crazy you say that, right? It's crazy you say that, because like at the other gym I used to work at, like, my son is too young to remember. He was like a baby. Like, my daughter, she's 13, so she, you know what I mean, she's been around. And they used to have a babysitting room there, so I was able to train people and let them watch my daughter while I was training. So, like, you know what I mean, like, when we would come back in the car, you know what I mean, she thought it was cool that I worked at the gym that had the babysitting. So, like, she would be like, oh, when I get older, I want to work here. I want to work here. I want to work there. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Once we open our gym, though, right? Just her talking changed. Like, she'd be like, I want to own this. I want to open this. You know what I mean? Like, just the way I didn't tell her to say that. It just from what she see. You know what I mean?
And that's what it's about, man. We are who we are based off of the reflections of the seeds planted within us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So when we, and that's the thing, whenever, Justin, God willing, brother, when you have your own family and that works out, you already have the mentality to already plant those seeds where you like, oh, snap. Now I know my child is not going to talk about, I want to work for Wall Street. It's more so, I want to run Wall Street. Where do I own Wall Street?
Of course.
Wait, how old are you, Justin? How old is Justin?
I'm 34 for another couple weeks.
34.
I turned 35 at the end of July, so for another month or so. Yeah. But I get all of my.
My brother is fighting it. This dude said a couple of weeks to the end of July. He ain't giving up that 34.
Nobody believes me anyway until they hear me talk. Like, when people hear what I talk about and what I know about, then they go, "Oh, yo, you are 34. You don't look it." I'm like, "Thank you." But
you like a unicorn, a 34-year-old Hispanic with no kids. You like a unicorn. You're like a unicorn.
Out here selling boxes of reality cereals. You definitely are a unicorn, man.
Yes, sir.
You move like you in your 20s right now, man. Man,
y'all young.
Right now.
You young, Justin. You heard me?
No, I heard
you. A young boy.
But mind you, this is me showing my age. I wish I could flip the camera, but I got on Bill and Ted Adidas right now that say Wild Stallion on the back.
Oh, wow.
So I'm 34. No, but seriously though, like all everything that I do now in my life is because of my family, my mother, my father, my grandfather, both grandfathers, and like it's a strong foundation. Also a product of the Boys Club of New York, Harriman Clubhouse, East 10th Street. You might have heard of it.
Yeah.
Yo,
if you
so
went,
yo, Just we gotta know
What?
each other, man. Cause I was over there too, man. We got I know you, man. We gotta know each other, bro. We in the too many of
we
the same
probably
spots.
we
Y'all
probably
was
cross
snapping on
paths.
each other.
Yeah, we
Word,
probably
man.
cross
We
paths. You
probably
know,
we had to have, man.
yeah, yeah,
Yo, I
for
got
sure.
my last
This is why
question
it's
for
dope.
y'all.
This is dope. Why this
All
is
right,
why it's dope that y'all both come on the platform and how things
Word,
connect like
yes,
this. And
sir.
word. This is gonna be dope.
synchronicity is beautiful,
Yep,
man.
Dope.
yep. It's all love. It's all love.
Word.
Yeah, we actually gonna be having a compilation where we
Oh,
have like different artists on.
I
But
got
like
something for
one
George real
thing we
quick.
might need y'all to do is
That-
Got my new chain on my piece.
yo, you gotta put that mad close, my G. It's like
Put that.
the screen is small.
See that?
Oh,
Oh,
See that?
Nick.
okay.
Oh,
You see that New
Okay,
York
okay.
Knicks? You see that?
Okay.
Let's go, baby.
Yo, the New York Knicks, baby. You
I
see
think
that?
you
You see
said
Yo.
the
this might
Knickerbockers,
be his
man.
favorite episode ever.
Yo,
I
that
had this.
hell yeah.
Yo,
That's
I
gonna
had
be
this
the
since I was
clip.
16. Since I was 16, I had this.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
crazy.
wow.
Knickerbockers,
That's
baby.
fire. Word up, man. To the diehard, man. Diehard
Yo,
every
nobody
year, but to the
knows that.
diehard.
Knickerbockers.
You know what I'm
Yo.
saying? That's fire.
All
Go
right,
ahead, Kyle.
we go
All right, so
wrap it
yeah,
up real quick. Last
this
question.
is my last question. When did y'all know? Like Kareem, you put your last $1,200. You said, okay, this is in. When did you know? Oh, that was a mistake. Versus that 1,200 was well invested. It's no turning back. It's going up from here. Justin, the same with you. When did you know? Oh, I'm doing comedy. I'm doing acting. Because there's always going to be people who say it's not working for you. And you can't even prove it to them. You just got to know for yourself, right?
Right.
When did you know for yourself from God, from that own personal conviction, and it was like, oh, I know now that this is going to work. Other people might not see it yet, but I know now. What was that crossing point?
For
Like
me, I knew.
yeah.
Oh no, go ahead, go.
No, I'm saying for me, there was no doubt, like in my mind. You know what I mean? Like everybody else had the doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you sure you want to do it? You sure? Like, I don't know. Like, that's
Yep.
I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do it anyway. We good.
Yep.
I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So like, the doubt was never with me. It was just like everybody else. So I was like, I'm just tired of convincing people. I'm gonna just keep doing it. Hopefully, they just follow my lead. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But like, you know what I mean? Like
Absolutely
trying to.
agree.
I don't know why that's funnier and more
I
joyful than
absolutely
any joke
agree.
I ever heard. Thank you, man. That's the
I
jokes
absolutely
on them.
agree.
Right,
Yes.
but like we all been there. Any artist never doubt the art. Is always the people around them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, ma, I want to rap. You like your mother like, hey, listen, calm down. Like, listen, school. You need to go to school. Like, no, ma, I'm spitting these bars. I'm gonna make it. Like, they like, no, chill out.
I
You know what I
absolutely
mean?
agree with that. Absolutely. Like, yo, you're so right about that. I like to watch a lot of inspirational speeches by people that I look up to. And you saying that, it made me think of when Jay-Z was saying how his uncle, who I will not name because I know personally,
Okay.
right? Said to him he would never sell 1,000,000 records. He'll never be bigger than LL Cool J. And Jay-Z was like, but that was his fear. That's what it is, their fear. They can't see what our dreams, right? And then when
They
we're
projecting.
doing it,
They
yeah,
projecting.
they're projecting their fear on you, right? So you got to kind of like ignore that because it's always your family. All right, they passed. The popo looking for me. I'm kidding. But I knew that I wanted to do it when I started doing it in 2010. I've always known that I wanted to be in entertainment. I just didn't know what yet. And I went to a couple shows in high school. I saw John Witherspoon 2 days after 9/11. My mother's idea, right? So I always go back to my mom. I think my mom is the reason I'm in entertainment. She's not in entertainment at all, but she's always had a love for music, television shows, classic movies, and comedy. And I think it's my mom is the reason that I'm doing stand-up. I think she's the reason that I'm pursuing acting now. You know what I mean? So she was always the one that was like, yo, like, so do you want to do this? Like, what's up? Like, when I told her that I was writing, she was like, well, how do we get you on stage? You know what I mean? So like we found out about Caroline's comedy school by Linda Smith, and the rest is history. But I was sure, for sure, that I could really do it and make money my 4th year in. Like, I was always like, yo, I could do this. But I was also kind of like, I don't know. Like, it's so many comedians here in New York, so much comedians in the world, right? But year 4, that's when I was like, yo, I could like do this forever. Like I could do this as long as Pauly Shore's dad, who died pretty much doing stand-up. Like he never retired. Sammy Shore died as a comic. He didn't die on stage, but you know what I'm saying? Like he was doing it till he was 91. Like I know I could do it. Like after the 4th year, I was like, oh yeah, I could do this. Sure. It's not easy, but I know that it's doable.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, gems once again.
That's
man.
dope.
I appreciate them
That's
gems.
dope. So Kareem,
Yes, sir.
my brother Reem. So man of many talents, brother.
Appreciate
You also used to rhyme.
Yeah, back in the day, man. We used to
Yes,
spit them bars.
Yeah, so everybody we bring on here, every artist we've always had, man. We had Grandmaster Cass spit some 16, and we gotta ask you, brother, because of that, because of your lineage.
Put me on the spot.
So here's the thing though, it ain't even so it's not even it's easier actually, because we're not asking for your best 16, we asking for your favorite 16, the one you keep in the chamber where you just like, all right, I'm gonna let this work. So I ain't even like go off the head, it ain't even like the joint that you felt, it's the joint that you love the best, you know what I mean, that you always keep in the chamber. You got that?
I think I got that.
All right. Matter of fact, so we're gonna buy some time while you thinking about that. I wanna first and foremost, man, thank y'all for coming on, man, because I think honestly speaking,
thank you.
like, yeah, man. So the whole idea behind Salmon's podcast is really having thought-provoking episodes. But I think what y'all did was you gave us the ability to hit another corner where somebody could sit there and be like, yo, I don't want to hear about short teachers who are, I don't know, they're not tall enough to teach the classroom. I don't want to hear, well, this is an episode, whatever you don't like, if you into comedy, you into comedics, this is a corner right now where people would be like, damn, I remember they had that. I want, you know what I mean? So I think that it would have not been possible without y'all, because your stories are so dope and what y'all doing is so dope still, that it gives us that corner to say, yo, we got that comedic episode. Go watch that, because that's why the name of it is Beyond Laughs. It's not just about, hey, I'm a comic, I'm a comedian, I'm a comic. I stand up, watch this. I'm gonna do a flip and make you laugh. It's more so there's that, but there's also the life in which you're dealing, the hardcore of it as well as the easy. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all, man. So yeah, we're gonna give y'all proper flowers and all that, man. So Kareem, I bought you time, brother. You good?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we ready. We ready. Y'all ready? Acapulco? We go Acapulco?
Acapulco.
All right. Yo, it's the dog. I'll eat any cat who think he lying, though. Claiming that he the man, but he be lying, though. Watch him scram soon as the iron blow. Yeah, it's the little dude, but got the giant flow. Fee 5-4 fum shit, you dumb bitch. I'm the run with. Dude that you could come get. When that drama's on and your gang is gone. Said I come with weapons drawn like I'm Genghis Khan. Swinging the nunchucks with the Buddha palm. Any of you dumb fucks could get moved upon. Say cause you's a pawn and I'm a chess tyrant. I'm the bomb, detonate you messing with the wiring. Word is born, any moves I make death defying. Some call me Kobe James or LeBron Bryant. And I'm known to spit flames, so turn on the hydrant before I make this weather change to a warmer climate. Dog.
Bomb drop.
There we go.
Hey.
There we go.
Nobody expected this from a comedian. This was a comedian show. They didn't expect this at the end of the show like this. Everybody, man.
Yeah, got me with that.
And you know what though? Kareem, I'm gonna salute you, brother, all for the fact of you ain't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? We had others, you know what I'm saying? Like we had others where we throw it and they like, yeah, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you did it, man, first and foremost, man, I want to salute you, brother.
Mute on me?
Nah, you good. You good. We hear you.
Salute.
Oh, I think my sound went out.
He can't
we
hear
hear you. He probably can't hear us, right? You hear us now?
About me? Yeah, I can hear
No. Kareem, I think his sound went on.
You muted yourself. You censored yourself. That's the funniest joke of this whole comedic episode. Justin had the cops coming to get him for his words, and Kareem censored himself. The two things we ain't talking about in comedy.
There you go. I think you're good now. You hear us now?
We can't hear him though.
Oh, that's crazy.
Turn your mic back on.
Work the fucking shit.
There you go.
Yo.
You back.
Censorship. They
You back?
censoring comics. Justin, they trying to censor y'all.
They trying to censor. They're not censoring me. Ain't nobody censoring me.
They said the police for y'all.
Nah.
My brothers in Empanada Mama's about to get right now.
You back.
I know exactly where you are too.
Jealous.
Man.
Yes, sir.
I'm jealous.
You back. He can't hear us.
That shit went off.
You probably see that damn Trump building all the way from over there too, man. All the way towards the water, big.
Yeah.
All right, well, he can't hear. Technical difficulties right here at.
You know what's the craziest thing? Kareem looked like he's trying to defuse a bomb, big. He looked like he.
Mike went out. Y'all, my
There
mic
you
went
go.
out.
hear
You
you.
hear us?
Mike went out.
We can hear you.
You hear us now?
He can't. We can. Yeah.
The
Okay.
rhyme was too dangerous.
All right, like you wanna close? it
Yeah,
out?
let me. Yeah. So, Ray, I hope you hear this when we get off, man.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you hear me now?
I can
Okay.
hear you. I can't talk.
You good? You good?
All
I was gonna tell you, brother. I'm proud of you, man. All your endeavors, man. Everything that you're doing, man. You're building a foundation for your family, man, and beyond. You know what I mean? Keep planting those seeds. Keep working with the youth. That's something that we always needed, and you giving exactly what we needed on a different level as you hit your older ages and your older selves. You know what I mean? So your older self. Justin, brother, just met you, man. You a gem, brother. Keep it up, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's a pleasure meeting you. You know what I'm saying? And whatever y'all two brothers needed or ever need or anything, just call us up, man. Sammon's got you. So if you're doing a show, we'll be promoting that. Whatever you need, brother, we here. You know what I mean? So
good.
good luck in
Likewise.
that in ATL. Handle your business down
I'm
there.
gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
And if am I wrong to say that you from Brooklyn?
I am from Brooklyn, from East New York.
Yo, this dude been shot out East New York since jump. He's like, I am from Brooklyn.
But he been walking through the LES.
Word, I love it.
By the way,
I
thank
love
you
it.
for taking us on a tour through the LES ending at Empanada Mama.
Word up.
None of us is in the LES. You from Brooklyn, but you rapping hard right now. It's a whole show. I'm homesick.
Yes, sir.
Salute to y'all, man. Yo, we thank y'all for your time. We thank y'all for your presence. We thank y'all for sharing your stories. Thank you. Double salute, brothers.
And with that being said, we're gonna see y'all on the next episode of Sound Minds, and we're gonna close out at 1, 2, 3. Sound
Minds. Peace, y'all. Have a good one. And follow these two brothers on IG and every social media, y'all.